Ancient writers. Much of what we know about the seven wonders comes from ancient travelers and writers, who saw or heard about the wonders. Herodotus was a Greek who was born in Halicarnassus in Asia Minor, modern Turkey, between 490 and 480 before Christ and died in 425 before Christ. The Romans called him the father of history. He was an adventurous traveler who visited many countries and wrote a book about the war between the Greeks and the Persians called the Histories. It was the first history book to be written in the Western world. In it Herodotus described the countries he had visited, including Egypt and Babylonia. Another writer was Philo of Byzantium, an engineer who lived around 250 before Christ. Little is known about him, but he wrote a work called The Seven Sights of the World, which became very popular. Diodorus of Sicily was a Greek historian, who lived in the 1st century before Christ and wrote an entire history of the world down to his own day. Another Greek historian of the 1st century was Strabo, 64 before Christ Anno Domini 21, who was born in Amasya on the Black Sea. Strabo traveled widely and wrote a book called The Geography, which described the countries, cities, and famous people of the world. Marcus Vitruvius Pollio, known as Vitruvius, lived in the 1st century before Christ and became an important architect and engineer in Rome, where he looked after the military engines and managed the city's water supply. Vitruvius wrote the 10 Books of Architecture, the world's first book on the subject. Many famous artists and architects, such as Michelangelo, studied this work. Pliny the Elder, whose real name was Gaius Plinius Secundus, was born around Anno Domini 23. Pliny held important positions in the Roman government and also wrote many books, one of which was called Natural History. This book contains much information about scientific and artistic activities. Pliny's curiosity led to his death. When the volcano Vesuvius erupted violently near Pompeii in southern Italy in Anno Domini 79, Pliny sailed across the Bay of Naples to get a good view and was killed. In the 2nd century Anno Domini, Pausanias, a Greek doctor from Asia Minor, went on a long journey through Greece. He studied the places he visited carefully and wrote a book called Guide to Greece, which describes in detail the buildings and monuments he saw. The exciting accounts of the 7 wonders left by these writers help keep the memory of the monuments alive. Many, but not all of the things they wrote have now been proved true by archaeologists.